honor to be able to share with you this morning on the brink of the new year. I love the end of the year. I love the planning. I love the thinking that goes into that. I love the idea of starting over, the idea of second and sometimes third and fourth chances to get something right. When I was praying about what to speak about this morning, I felt like that was the direction that I wanted to go towards, and I've also felt that in what the pastor has said this morning. So, I think that one of the most ironic parts that God has used to do the work that I do is my love for the underdog. I love always going for the underdog. When I was a teacher, I was one of the students that no one else wanted. I've stuck my neck out for so many different people, and sometimes it works out, and sometimes I get burned. I'm drawn to different people. I'm drawn to those that no one else wants. I have people that coach me personally, and they say, and they often chastise me. They're like, you can't save everyone. And my flippant response is, well, I can die trying. So let me share one of my favorite underdog stories from the Bible. In fact, most of you, even if you've read the Bible through a couple of times, may have not even recognized this guy. His name only appears a few times and never more in a sentence or two. It's from 2 Samuel 23, 20 through 21, and it reads like this. Benaniah, son of Jedidiah, was a valiant fighter, performed great exploits. He struck down Moab's two mightiest warriors. He also went down into a pit on a snowy day and killed a lion. He struck down a huge Egyptian, and although the Egyptian had a spear in his hand, Benaniah went against him with a club. He snatched the spear from the Egyptian's hand and killed him with his own spear. So, Benaniah had made a name for himself among the men of King David, the boy who had killed Goliath and become the king. So David moved Benaniah into his most trusted position, the head of David's personal protection. So Benaniah was given no special treatment. He wasn't given a position because of who his friends were, how much money his mom and his dad had. Benaniah made a name for himself because he was trustworthy and he was fearless. And all we really know about him was in what we read in those two verses. So, but what is said in those two verses can change and set the course of a lifetime for you and for me. So, part of verse 20, in a way that draws no attention to it, was a sentence that most of us probably read and dismissed as no big deal. For whatever reason, there was a lion causing problems in town. Maybe it had been taking out some of the livestock. Maybe Benaniah really hated cats. Maybe lion tongue was a delicacy. I don't know. But for some reason, Benaniah had gone out on a snowy day, tracked the lion into a pit, crawled down into the pit, and killed the lion. So let's just look at the facts for a second. Lions are strong, they're powerful, and they're fast. And lions are way bigger than humans. And agitated lions, lions like the ones that you crawl into their home, are ferocious beasts. On top of that, it's snowing, and lions have claws that can make it even agile in snowy conditions. This is way back before they had snow boots. So Benaniah was at a disadvantage. But here he goes, not caught off guard by the lion, but chasing after it into his home to pick a fight. I bet when Benaniah took off, and there were people that knew that he was going, they were like, dude, you are crazy. What are you doing? Why? Because normal people never go hunting a lion in snow without snow boots. But you know what else? Normal people don't face their fears. Normal people don't operate fearlessly. This may come a shock to you. This may go against everything that you've ever learned. But our goal in life should never be to be normal. I don't ever want to be someone that's referred to as normal. Normal people don't wear bows in their hair. Normal people don't become great leaders. Normal people don't make world-changing stands. Normal people don't live within their comfort zones. Normal people don't chase lions on snowy days. And that's the kind of person that I want to be. God is not wanting more people to be normal. God is more concerned with you walking away from normal. If Benaniah were a normal guy, his story would read more like this. Benaniah, son of Jedidiah, saw a lion one day. He ran back into his house, he locked his door, and he remained in his house until the day he died. Actually, if Benaniah was normal, you and I probably would have never read a story about him. He wouldn't even be in the Bible. But God is an expert at taking normal, ordinary people and showing them and giving them the power to do extraordinary things. Benaniah came from one of the most trusted men in King David's entire kingdom because he wasn't normal. He was a lion chaser. The bigger part that we make God in our lives, the smaller that the lion becomes. Most people focus too much on the lion and not enough on God. When we stand and stare at the lion, it's huge, it's strong, it's intimidating. This is true for the lion watcher as it is for the lion chaser. But 2 Timothy says, For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. The things that we are afraid of, the lions that we don't want to chase, those are learned behaviors. They didn't come from God. So, what does Helping Hands do? We chase lions. Helping Hands isn't just pro-life, it's abundant life. We firmly believe and act on the words of John 10:10. The enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And his favorite thing to prey on is families. But Christ comes so that we may have life abundantly. This is the lens in which we serve women, men, and their families. We desire abundant life for those that we serve. Basic needs are met, positive lifestyles, healthy pregnancies, healthy children, life-affirming choices, and most importantly, eternal hope. Over the past 6 years, God has shaped the vision and direction of Helping Hands. We aren't content or called to just save babies, for them to only have heartache after one birthday after another. So either we care for life or we don't. Either we value the life of everyone or no one at all. Not just the lives of those that look and sound and smell like us, but the addict, the homeless person, the prostitute. We can't just say that we care for the life of the unborn by tossing aside the life of the mother and father that conceived that life. Somewhere along the lines, we decided that a person is a person and we want them to be. And somehow we've gotten the idea that life is only valuable as the person viewing it. I look at women that we serve, who see themselves as yesterday's trash, something that used and was thrown away. I watch them use sex and drugs to numb the pain of cycles that they're trapped in. I listen to them tell stories of how they traded sex for love without the ability to separate the two. I watch some trade drugs over the welfare of their children. I listen to horror stories of little girls being sexually abused by their dads and their brothers and their uncles. And I watch men struggle to understand what it means to be a father and grapple with anger and rage against their pasts. And I watch women retreat into little girls living in a past time where memory of the abuse doesn't exist. No, we shouldn't settle for saving babies that will grow up to only repeat these cycles of unplanned pregnancy, casual sex, fragmented relationships, and poverty from these choices. We should fight to save babies while we fight to change the dysfunctional mindsets of moms so that they want more for themselves and they want more for their children, for them to believe that they are worth more and inspire them to fight for that more. We should fight for the fathers that can't even begin to understand the weight of the responsibility the word daddy brings with it, and teach them the value that women and children have. Because when we do that, we will see change. Not fast change, not change that we can create charts and graphs with, but sustainable change, community change, abundant life. Still not convinced? If you know me well, you know that numbers don't really motivate me, but it's relationships that do. But here's a number that motivates me, 60%. 60% of Wells County is unchurched. 60% of 28,000 people is 16,800 unsaved people in one county. One county. Now, I don't have the statistics for surrounding counties, but I can imagine that they are similar, if not higher, than Wells County. So we have to think about the spiritual implications, not just the circumstances. What you find at Helping Hands, you're not going to find anywhere else. Helping Hands is based on relationships. Every program, every service, everything, all the way down to the way that we have maternity clothes that are passed out is intentional. Why is this relationship so important? Well, think about it. The only way that you learn about Jesus is through relationships. We don't just know about Christ, we learn about him from other people, and then we start having a relationship with him ourselves. We will never have a large number of women and clients served. I want to keep it that way. Why? Because that's not how we operate. We don't want to just push diapers and clothes onto cribs onto families and then check the box and be done. No, we desire abundant life for women and families in our community, and the only way that that happens is by extending a relationship to them, an opportunity to build a relationship. It's non-negotiable. To me, this is black and white, and it should create urgency. I like how C.H. Spurgeon put it. He said, the Holy Spirit will move them by first moving you. If you can rest with them not being saved, they'll rest too. But if you are filled with agony for them, if you cannot bear that they should be lost, you will soon find that they are uneasy too. I love your church's mission statement. to make disciples of Jesus Christ in order to transform the world, with the belief that this act isn't a one-stop destination, but a purposeful journey. Start, walk, run. Are you running towards or away from the lion? What in the world are you not okay with? What do you complain about? What bothers you? What makes your stomach turn? What leaves you feeling helpless? What raises your blood pressure and makes you want to pound on the table until somebody listens to you? Are you content to just watch God work in other people's lives? What didn't happen in 2018 isn't going to happen in 2019 if you don't do something about it. Because the truth is, friends, you're never going to be in an ideal place to minister. If you're waiting for just the right time, it's not going to happen. The enemy or just life will always bring something up to keep you from serving. It's just easier. It's just less messy. The only thing that separates you from start and run is saying yes. Your children of the King. I don't know what you're sitting there telling yourself this morning. I don't know what your list of reasons is for not getting involved in doing something, but just stop. Just stop. What are you willing to give up to serve the King who rescued you from death? Why chase the lion if there's a cost? Because believe me, there is. My words and actions create separation. I've lost friends since following this calling. So why do I do what I do? Because I believe to whom much is given, much is expected. And I want to hear the words, well done, good and faithful servant. I don't want to be normal. I want to be extraordinary. I want to leave a legacy that will eventually change the world. I almost didn't last part. I almost didn't write that last part because it's almost laughable. Like leave a legacy that can change the world. That's just it, friends. Our troubles begin when we forget that we have these great realities and concentrate on our inadequacies, our fears, and all of our manifestations of our smallness. But to the one that is willing to face the lion, the God we serve is much bigger and much stronger and more powerful than any lion, any team of lions, any family of lions, any pit of lions. God didn't make you and me to be normal. He didn't create the church, this church, to be normal. He didn't place you where you are to be a normal mom or dad or factory worker or engineer or teacher or whatever. Essentially, you're saying, I can't really follow Jesus right now because, and you fill in the blank. Ordinary people are everywhere, but God created you to be extraordinary. My sisters and I like to quote the words of Eleanor Roosevelt. Well-behaved women or men rarely make history. Did you catch it before that Ben and I went into the pit alone? So, who are you willing to get in the pit with? I'm praying for you and I'm praying for others. Helping Hands has some pretty big people needs right now, especially going into 2019. This work was not meant to be done alone. It was not meant to be done by a few. It was meant to be done by the body of Christ, the church. So, what do you want to do in 2019? Already got some plans here. What lion do you want to tackle? Don't assume that the other people in this room or someone else in this county is going to do it. Go home and write it down. Make a call, send a text, send an email, make a plan, set up a meeting. Just do the next thing. Pray, don't think. Otherwise, the world's going to drown out my words and God's calling. Being a lion chaser sounds like a great job title, but for far too many people, it's more of a dream job. My prayer for you in 2019 is that you put your fears aside and that you tackle that lion. I'll be here after the service if you'd like to talk about those opportunities to do just that. May the Lord bless you and lead you as you enter into the